Sports provide the perfect game plan for your family. You'll enjoy all of the drama and excitement competitive sports offer. You'll be supporting the future leaders of our community in a meaningful way. Best of all, you can take the entire family without breaking the bank. Heck, you won't even dent it. Now, enough chalk talk. Let's get out there and see what's playing at the high school in your community. School sports. Good for our kids, good for our community. This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Whether it's an oil change or a new set of tires, Quick Lane at Valley Ford Truck has you covered for your car care needs. They're your neighborhood quick service experts. They also offer a low price tire guarantee. Choose from 13 brands, and if you find the same tires at a lower price within 30 days, Quick Lane at Valley Ford will refund the difference. 5715 Canal Road, right under the 480 bridge in Valley View. Come see why life is better in the Quick Lane. quicklane.com/Valley Ford Truck.
This is the Sports Fix. What is your name?
I'm the dude. So that's what you call me, you know? That or his dudeness or duder or, El Duderino if you're not into the whole brevity thing.
Dude, what do you want?
Well, it's this rug I have. It really tied the room together.
We are not a show to be swept under the rug. We are a show to be heard.
It's the Sports Fix.
Welcome back to the Sports Fix final segment here across the Sports Fix Radio Network. J-Rock back with you, rolling on. Man, what a show today, man. Mondays. Mondays, you get to Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then you come back around and you go, wow, I forgot how busy Mondays were. Love it. Always an extra fun-sized. Most people use fun-sized to mean small and short. But, man, no, this was a fun-sized, in a good way, edition of the show. Good job, you guys, again. Everybody who's participated, good job. Like I'm patting you on the head and saying good. Who tells their listeners good job? That's ridiculous. You guys, as always, great show coming through with the comments through the Facebook, the Twitter, the email, blowing us up here today. You guys in the Mixler chat room doing your thing, man. And the phone calls, LG kicked it off. Of course, John McMullen from the Sports Network just kept it rolling. Dan Wismar from the Cleveland Fan, always great. Hey, we've got another loaded slate coming tomorrow. It's Tuesday. You guys know how it is. Matter of fact, it is it's it. We're in the home stretch of the World Series. Next 2 days at most are going to finish that bad boy out and head us into the off season for all of baseball and the Indians. And that's where, for Indians fans, they can get to working towards next season here. Let's get this thing over with. Let's start doing some of the offseason. But for baseball fans, the two biggest ones left to go. Game 6 tomorrow, potentially a Game 7 on Wednesday. Jeff Gorman from Indians101.com. He'll be here tomorrow, and we will talk about the middle part of this series, how San Francisco has grabbed control of this thing and now sits on the precipice of knocking this thing off. I see you, Charles, talking about Corey Kluber for the Cy Young. There's still we've got 16, 17 days left before that, but that's going to come, the announcement of that as well when that comes out there. But I'm with you. If Corey Kluber doesn't win it, then they've rigged the election. That's all I'm saying, man. They've rigged the votes. We'll talk Jeff Gorman, Indians101.com, about all of that here as the World Series winds down. Looking forward to that. Dr. Football, Tuesday, he's in the house. We'll talk about tonight's Monday Night Football. Cowboys and the Skins. The Cowboys and the potatoes, as they would say, going at it. Colt McCoy taking the snap at starting quarterback for the Redskins. RG3 deemed not ready to return yet. He's facing a buzzsaw in the Cowboys and DeMarco Murray and what they've done here this season. And I'll tell you what, gonna be a test, that's for sure, for Colt McCoy. I think the Cowboys roll as far as much like I said about the Browns and the Raiders. When I say that, I don't necessarily mean by a high number of points, but a dominant victory. I think that they're gonna lie behind that rushing attack. Obviously, divisional games have that bite to them, but I don't think Colt's got it. But who knows, man? Hey, listen, I'm going to watch it, and I'm proud of Colt McCoy for making it back. And I know I'm not saying that in a patronizing way. I'm one of those guys that feels that Colt McCoy is worse off for having been the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. I say it about Tim Couch all the time. He suffered injuries that completely and it could have happened anywhere. It's not like I'm just blaming Cleveland, but the point is, much like Tim Couch was never going to go to the Hall of Fame. But if he had not been murdered here relentlessly for several years in the first part of his time in Cleveland, he would be much better remembered in his career than what he was, because he was still halfway decent, even though he had no reason to be halfway decent. And I know I'm using a low curve to grade on the quarterbacks, but you know what I'm saying. Same thing about Colt. He may have washed out too, but I thought that he had some moxie and some potential as a quarterback as long as he had, again, in that game manager that can scoot a little bit with his legs and not going to lose you games and all of that. And I liked him. I always thought that he got a raw deal here with Holmgren. He got run out of town. Holmgren run him out of town. But that's what you get. You don't go in the media and talk about the Walrus. His dad did his career in. So I'm glad to see many people wondered if he would ever resurface as a backup once he was injured and washed out of Cleveland here behind Whedon. And he not only did that, but he has emerged and persevered to get another opportunity. Maybe it's one start and he goes back to being Colt McCoy that nobody's paying attention to. But I think it's cool when I see a guy persevere. I know you and I personally know how hard it is in your life to overcome things and come through in circumstances, maybe even not that difficult, let alone what he did. So from that perspective, hats off, Colt McCoy. Go out there and try to beat the Cowboys. If he doesn't, we'll talk about it. If he does, we'll talk about that too. All of that, though, coming up tomorrow. We've also got Doug Plagans, voice of the Lake Erie Monsters. He's with us every Tuesday right here on The Fix. Tomorrow, no different. We'll talk about the final of basically the month-long road trip that the Monsters have been on, with the exception of that second game of the season back in early October. Other than that, they've been on the road. This weekend, it ends Halloween. Back-to-back opening nights at the Q. Got Thursday. These guys, I don't know, they dribble a basketball. They do, anyway, LeBron, James, if that sounds familiar. Those guys are going to do the basketball thing on Thursday night. And then Friday night, the Monsters reopen the Q there, even though it's not opening night. It's kind of like a second opening night. They've got back-to-back with Texas at the Q here this weekend, Friday, Saturday. So we're going to talk to Doug Plagans about those matchups coming up. And this past weekend, it was a little bit of everything for the Monsters. They started off with that 5-4 victory against Grand Rapids on Friday, took a shootout loss 2-1 against Milwaukee on Saturday, and then ended it with a loss 5-2 to Rockford. We're going to go over all of that. Monsters right now sit 2-4-0-1 on the season, as they did pick up a point for that shootout loss against Milwaukee. Dougie Plagans will be here to talk about, I don't know, I always, in my head, I call him Dougie Plagans. I don't know that I meant to, I don't know if he likes that, but I feel like he's, in the class. Hey, Dougie. No, Doug Plagans is my man. Can't wait to have him here on the show. We'll talk Monsters. Get you ready for this weekend as well, as always. So that's the slate for tomorrow. Tonight, we just talked about it. You got Monday Night Football. No baseball tonight. World Series gets back at it tomorrow. Cavaliers. Hey, real quick. A lot of you guys are probably seeing stories, and I'm sure in the next 24 to 48 hours, you're going to hear a lot of sports media talk in the radio and all of that about the big debacle going on with Tristan Thompson, and this is the first step of causing problems with the Cavs. Back off and relax a little bit. Listen, Cavaliers, as it works in the NBA, the Cavs are up against the October 31st deadline for extending all of the players who were drafted in Thompson's 2011 draft class. Now, if he was one of the remaining few left with a decision to make, I'd be with it. And I understand that there's a lot of people angling and wondering, LeBron and the agent represents Thompson as well, and, well, the Cavs are going to have to fold. Look at what LeBron did with Eric Bledsoe and how he put the pressure on, and, of course, there's going to be some of that. But listen, let me just put it this way. Relax right now, because right now you're not even there. Right now, only Kyrie Irving, Kenneth Faried, and 2 other guys from the 2011 draft class. That's it. Those 4 are the only ones who have done that, who have done the extension after the 4-year contract. So the rest of the class, and I'm talking Klay Thompson at Golden State, Kawhi Leonard at San Antonio, Ricky Rubio at Minnesota, Jimmy Butler in Chicago, Reggie Jackson at Oklahoma City, Brandon Knight with the Bucks, Kemba Walker with the Hornets, all of those guys. We're talking about named guys, talented guys. They're all in the exact same boat as the Cavs with Thompson, and it's because teams, agents, players, they're trying to determine exactly how much money is about to open up next year, and nobody wants to be the first guy to make a deal and take too low. You know, what if the next guy comes in and trumps you by $20 million or something like that? So everybody's kind of playing chicken right now. And don't forget also that if the Cavs don't reach an agreement by the end of this week with Tristan Thompson, he doesn't get to walk away. He becomes a restricted free agent. Now, that means that whatever dollar amount he has in his mind, if the Cavs don't give it to him now, he can find another team to give it to him next year, and then the Cavs will have to match that contract or not. We saw that happen with Gordon Hayward here this summer, and Chandler Parsons, and even Bledsoe, even though he went back to his original team. So, yeah, that's a part of it too, but it's not the end of the world. Just relax, everybody. Take a deep breath. This is what happens. But even if they don't work anything out by Friday, which I wouldn't be surprised if they do, but if they don't, they know that Tristan's a restricted free agent, and the Cavs will still have the right of first refusal. And again, guys, if I didn't just read you that list, and some of those guys are higher priority contracts than Tristan Thompson, Klay Thompson, Kawhi Leonard, Ricky Rubio. So my point is that all those guys in that class are in the same boat. It's hardly just a Cavs in Cleveland type thing. And at the same time, they're working on an extension for Anderson Varejao as well, looking to get both of those guys locked up so that then the only thing you have to deal with next summer is Kevin Love. And then, as far as your own free agents coming up, and obviously whatever goes down with LeBron, but that's as simple as a signing off on the second year and then renegotiating the extension after that. So just relax on the Tristan Thompson thing. There's no reason Cavaliers fans should be hitting me up like the sky is already starting to fall when this season hasn't even begun. I'm going to go back to what I said earlier. Go buy the $5 million ticket. Forget reaching for the $250 million for now. Relax and enjoy what's in front of you. The Cavs season tips off in a couple days, and it's going to be a hell of a lot of fun no matter what the final result is. There's no way that the media should be allowed to start wreaking havoc on the fans before. You don't get to start the next problems before the fun part of the previous problems has begun. That's just wrong, man. Don't let yourself live in that environment. Come on over here. The water's nice. Relax. Cavaliers tip it off Thursday. We'll preview that, by the way, with Eddie Jansen coming up later on. Oh, speaking of the NBA, also, Mookie Blaylock. We talked about it before. Of course, last year he was in the tragic car accident that killed a lady, a mother of five, actually, in Clayton County down in Atlanta. And Mookie Blaylock, he was ordered not to drive. He had the seizure medication. He ended up driving, even though he was ordered not to drive, which led to him having to plead guilty for his role in the accident. He changed his plea today. He pled guilty to vehicular homicide and several other charges. He was sentenced to 15 years in prison. Mookie Blaylock will serve 7 years after it was reduced. He will be suspended for 3. So he's basically going to serve 4 years in prison. He will do a 3-year jail sentence and then 8 years of probation on top of that for Mookie Blaylock's sentencing. And that's where that's going to go. I remember reading that, and at first I was like, well, was it a DUI? And there was no details. And where he did wrong was that he was not supposed to. It's like, think about it. You're not supposed to be out there without glasses if they tell you on your license that you can't be driving without glasses. Mookie Blaylock had no business being on the road that day, and he was involved in the accident that ended the life of Monica Murphy back in, like I said, that was just a little over a year ago, about 15 months ago. So Mookie Blaylock headed to prison today after pleading guilty, and he's going to be in prison for the next 4 years and then on probation for quite a bit after that. I remember Mookie Blaylock. It was one of those unique names. It sticks out in your younger days. You remember that. That's one of those ones that sticks out there. So best of luck to him as he looks to, rebuild his life after this. All you can do is go forward. That's the thing. All you can do is go forward. So, hey, guys, we're going to go forward to tomorrow, baby. It's the end of the show, if you can believe it. Thank you, guys. 3 hours in the books just like that. Tomorrow, Doug Plagans of the Monsters. Dr. Football's in the house.